Hello everyone, it is so incredible to see all of your smiling faces, or at least know they're there. I have something for you today. I can't do motorcycle right now, but this is something you are going to want to hear. This story I have is about my trip with my son. It's amazing. It's unbelievable. It's pretty amusing. And I can guarantee someone is gonna cry. And it's probably gonna be me. So get something to drink, get something to eat, sit down, and let's go. Hurry, hurry, hurry. A lot of you know I have a 30-year-old son named Michael that we adopted at birth. We were in the birthing room. His dad cut his cord. They wrapped him up, handed him to me. It was amazing. And he was such a blessing and so much fun and so wonderful. Well, as an adoptive parent, as some of you may know, it can be a kind of a scary situation. We did everything we could to make sure that Michael was as secure, stable, happy as possible. That was one of our driving goals. And you know what? He is. It worked. About 3 years ago, he came downstairs and said, "Mom, I'm having some symptoms." And he told me what the symptoms were, and I'm trying to keep my don't worry face on. Hard to do. Inside, I was panicking, and I knew there was something I had to do. I had to find his birth father. I didn't have the medical history. I began a Google search, and I found his birth father's name. It was in an obituary. He had unfortunately passed away in 2015 of colon cancer. My son was showing signs of colon cancer. His widow's name was in the obituary, and I made the decision. Come on. There's not really any protocol for this. Hello? You don't know me. I don't know if you know your husband had a son, but I adopted him and I need medical information. So I put my son's face public on my Facebook page because I knew she was going to check me out, which any good parent should do. She said as soon as she saw the eyebrows, it was a giveaway. No doubt, no question. I told her all I wanted was medical information. My son had no interest in knowing anything. We were his family. Told her what was happening. She and I think the first time we spoke, we were on the phone for several hours. We became friends, really good friends. I took Michael in and he had the colonoscopy, and they did find precancer. Had he waited to the age of 50 to have it removed, he might not have made it, which was the case with his birth father. I am so grateful that she gave me that information. She saved my son's life. So we go along and, Michael's doing his thing, and the mom and I are talking back and forth, and she has 3 girls. He has 5. I put up all these. He has 5 more sisters that we didn't know about. Well, I knew about 2 of them. I didn't know about the 3 younger ones. I looked at the younger ones' pictures, and I was like, oh my gosh. I showed them to Michael, and Michael said, "Mom, that's me with hair." Things kind of roll along, and we have, this friendship. We really didn't have any plans. We knew we were going to meet someday, but we didn't know when or how or what that was going to look like. It could have gone really, really bad, or it could have gone really, really good, or somewhere in between or on the fringes. 2 of the sisters were graduating. Michael got a graduation announcement, and in the announcement, there was an invitation to the party. I watched Michael as he read it. He looked at it, did not say one word. He put it down, and he went out and he washed his car. Michael's my kid that sort of overthinks things or thinks through things a lot. I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go. I want to meet these people. So he comes back up, and he and I have this talk about, he's 30. I pretty well know what he's thinking. And so I answered questions that I would have if I were in his position. And he said, I don't really know. I don't know if they meant to invite me. I don't know what to do. We just talked it through because this is a big step. He's got 3 little sisters and 2 older sisters that we didn't know about the 3 little ones, and we had no idea we would ever meet the 2 older ones. So it's just been Michael and Nikki. When his dad got home later that day, Michael said, I had already talked to the mom, and she said, yeah, we didn't think Michael would want to come, but we would love for him to be here. His dad got home that day, and Michael hadn't told me what was going on in his mind. And he said, Dad, Mom and I are going on vacation. I'm like, what? Really? We're going to do what? Oh my gosh. This is so cool. So I called the mom and I said, we are going to be there. And this is such a special occasion. I'm going to get first class tickets to take Michael. I want him to remember this. This is going to be amazing. Or not. We weren't real sure, but we were excited. I mean, it was so surreal. And I told Michael, I'm going to get first class tickets. He's all low key. Well, I've never flown first class before. I said, we're going first class. This is a special occasion. I'm taking you first class. The mom picked us up at the airport. It was amazing. It was a connection. Instant connection. And she took us back to the hotel room, and we were going to see the girls, the younger 3 girls, and one of the older sisters the next day. She came and picked us up from the hotel, took us to her house, which was across the street from the hotel. So the older sisters, I was a little afraid of. I had known about them when Michael was born, and I wasn't really sure how they were going to react to Michael. And the mother said that she was going to talk to her, the one that lives there in the same state, and let her know. And you know what? Both of those girls are so cool. They're like, Michael is here. He's our brother. Oh my gosh, I was just so shocked. That night, we went out for dinner at one of the places his birth father used to go when he was sick to get away from being sick. No one knew he was sick there. He would sing karaoke. He would have a great time. He had gone there for years and knew everyone. There's even a drink named after him. And my son, who doesn't drink alcohol, took one for the team. He took a sip or 2 and is like, no. So we talked and we talked and we talked. And I was sitting on one side of the table with 2 sisters. The mom, Michael, and the oldest of the youngest was on the other side. I'm looking at those 2 kids side by side. You cannot tell that they are half siblings. Those kids look full blood all the way on. It is so crazy. When we walked into that place, there were people that had known the birth dad that looked at my son, and you could see the look of shock on their face. And it brought back a lot of memories for a lot of people. Now, the younger sisters were a little afraid because Michael looks a lot like his birth dad. So they weren't really sure how it was going to affect them. And we wanted to respect that. And really, it was kind of hard in a way because we really wanted to see them as much as we could, but there was a whole lot going on, and we didn't want to be under their feet, and we didn't want to push ourselves on them. But then the mom said, are you kidding? We want to cram as much time in with you guys as we can. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. When I had talked to the girl's mom about coming to the graduation party, we had spoken about the birth father's oldest sister, and she hadn't really been planning on coming to the party. The girl's mom said, I think if I tell her about Michael, she just might come to the party because there was flights involved and everything, short notice. Or the mother called the aunt and she was like, oh my gosh, I will be there, which was so amazing. I mean, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. So she was gonna show up Friday. The party was Saturday. She was gonna show up Friday. The kids he and the girls had all that time to kind of feel, test the waters, figure out if this was gonna work or not, if they were gonna get along. They were amazing. The youngest one, oh my gosh, she is a little spitfire. She and Michael share a passion for adventure, roller coasters, adrenaline, and all of that. The middle sister, she's very much like my son in the fact that she's quiet and she's observant, and she notices everything that's going on. The oldest sister of the younger sisters, I should say, she and Michael share the same taste in music, the same movies. They both wanted to be pilots, and the list goes on and on and on. And it was so funny, the girls kept talking about food. We want you guys to taste this. We want you to taste that place. We want you to go to that place. And so we did. We went to a lot of the places that they wanted to go. They were getting along famously, incredibly. And the mom, one night they ended up staying over at the girl's house and watching a movie. And she said she could not believe how much alike they were when they watched a movie. Everyone has a different style. They're just like zeroed in on that movie. So they really had some good times. I took them out to Lake Michigan, and I'll scatter pictures throughout here. I took them out to Lake Michigan, and you know what? I sat back on the sand and I watched them for a couple of hours. They stood in the same place in the water and talked forever. And my heart was just overflowing. After the lake, and we were going to take the girls home, everyone was thirsty. And Michael is such a giver, and he's so caring. He gives the most thoughtful gifts. He really puts a lot of thought into everything he does. The girls wanted water, and so Michael, we stopped at this little station, and Michael went in and got them like pH balanced huge liters of water, and the girls were so excited they didn't know what to say. They were just like, oh my gosh, I haven't had water this big over water. It was so cool. And they went into a sandwich shop, and somebody there said, oh, you guys are such a beautiful family. And they were so touched by all of this. And I could tell Michael was I told the mom, I said, I'm gonna know Michael's completely confident and comfortable if says something, that a brother would say to a sister. So I was waiting, and I was watching for that. So that night, after the beach and after the sandwich shop, Michael dropped me off at the hotel. I wasn't feeling well. Oh, I'll give you a health update at the end of the video. Great. So they dropped me off the hotel. Michael went back to their house. They hung out the rest of the evening. He came back and he said, Mom, when I look at them, I see 3 of me looking back. That's how strong the resemblance is. Even in mannerisms. The oldest of the youngest, she makes this face that is the same face Michael makes at certain things. And there were little things. It was so much fun. And it was a gift. As an adoptive mom, I can tell you, I was scared to death of losing my son. But I didn't lose my son. I gained a family. And that's not even the best part. So it came time for us to meet the aunt. I think she's 72 years old. From what the mother was telling me, I was a little afraid. Let's just get that out there. We got there that morning. She had just gotten off the airplane and was mixing up something for lunch. I looked at her and she took my breath away. She is so elegant. She was so beautiful. So just, you could feel how genuine her energy was. You could feel that with everyone. I walked in the door first and Michael was behind me. And when she saw Michael, she was visibly shaken. She had this reaction. She was caught off guard. Even though she had seen pictures of him, seeing him in person caught her off guard. And she is the most wonderful woman. Oh, she's incredible. I am so happy she was at the party. The night that she had gotten in, we went out to dinner. A wonderful restaurant. Oh my gosh, I wish they had restaurants like that in Portland, but they don't because it's Portland. We went to this wonderful Italian restaurant, and the girls were on one side of the table I was on this side of the table, then there was Michael, then there was the mom, and then there was the aunt. The girls are going back and forth, bickering over, little things like the bread or who's going to take what, or, just sibling kind of things. Then it came. Michael said, "Ladies, claws in."
Ladies, claws in.
I could not believe he said that. At that moment, it went quiet. There was complete silence. It was hysterical. And I knew my son felt comfortable and at home. It was so funny. So the next day was the day of the party. That was a little scary because we knew we were going to be meeting all of the mother's family, all of the kids' friends, and whoever else may show up. And a lot of them didn't know about Michael. They knew and had recognized the birth dad. And it was funny watching faces of people that had known the birth dad and knew the family see Michael. It was like, wait a minute, what's up here? So that was kind of cool. And the mom's grandmother, who was in her 90s, was there, and she is feisty and she is fun. Oh my gosh, she's a riot. So she came up to talk to us, and she said, she was talking with Michael, and she looked and she said, "Well, that would make you my great-grandson." And the mom said, "Yes, it would," or someone, whoever was around there. There was so much going on. Yeah, that would. So everyone was so accepting. And, I was worried. Here I am, the adoptive mom. Are they going to accept me? Are they going to accept Michael? Are we going to like them? Are they going to like us? It was better than anything that could have ever happened. It was amazing. So the night of the party, we were talking with the aunt, and she wanted to FaceTime her husband so he could meet Michael and me, and she could say hello. Lovely man, lovely, lovely, lovely man. And when he was speaking with Michael, he said something, or he asked something like, "So what do you think about having 3 more sisters? Or what do you think about your little sisters?" And Michael said, without dropping a beat, "They've got the best parts of me." Michael really is a very humble kid, but he just was, they do. You roll those girls up and you have my son. We couldn't have asked for anything better. It was just so much fun. It was so incredible. It was also, there was a part that was very heartbreaking. It wasn't really heartbreaking, but it was very true. Michael's very analytical. He's very black and white a lot of times. And he said something. He said, "Wow, one door shut and another one opened that was even better." And what he meant by that was he has been feeling very shunned by his older brother and sister that he grew up with. Michael is being made to bear the brunt of that, and he felt very thrown away by that. And to have the girls and their mom and their aunt and the grandmother and everyone accept him and love him. He was just talking about what an enormous blessing it was. And there was one day, the kids went to an amusement park and they were going to go back the next day. But the aunt was there, and Michael got kind of bummed because he wanted to go to the amusement park. He and the youngest girl are they're thrill seekers. But that's when we really got to talk to the aunt. And she told us so many stories, and she filled us in on so much history, so many family things. She was so respectful and concerned about Michael and his feelings. And on the way back to the hotel after that, Michael says, "Mom, it's right. We never know what God has planned. I was wanting to go back to the amusement park, but what happened today with her was so much more valuable, so much more important." So I just loved it. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And as you've seen through a lot of these pictures, those girls look a lot like my son. Now, we did meet one of the older sisters. She's awesome. She is 37. I think she's going to be 38 next month. beautiful, 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 very accepting of Michael, very sweet. And I've made contact with the older sister who's 45, and she seems to be very accepting as well and seems to be very anxious to meet Michael. You know what? I could have never anticipated this 30 years ago. I told the mom, I said, you know what? It's like the birth dad is up there orchestrating this. This was meant to be. Our paths were meant to cross. And she said, yeah, they were. So we have gained so much family, so many wonderful memories, people that are real, people that are genuine. And it was the most amazing time. I don't know, you know, I know I can't really bring it all across. We spent 10 days there. You know, some of the times I had to bow out because my heart wasn't doing so well, so I had to go back, put my feet up. But that was good because that allowed Michael and his sisters to have some time together and sort of, you know, gel. And it's amazing. The aunt brought a photo book. She made Michael a scrapbook with pictures of family and a little caption about each one of them. And now I'm going through Michael's baby pictures and things, trying to get together a book for the girls and for the aunt to have of Michael's growing up, where he grew up, how he grew up, a little bit about everybody. I texted the aunt today and asked her if she had time to talk a little bit later. So after I film this, I'm going to give her a phone call. This was one of the most incredible things in my life, and I know it was in my son's. I know he still is worried a little bit that they may throw him away like two of the ones here did, but I don't think that's going to happen. There was a connection formed, and it's one that can't and won't ever be broken. You know, I don't really know what else to say except God is good. It was a fantastic gift, and we are so thankful to have this huge extended family, and we cannot wait to meet the oldest sister, who happens to live in Washington, very close to us, just a couple of hours away. So hopefully we'll be meeting her soon. Can't wait. So there's my story. I made it through without crying. Now for the health update. I don't have congestive heart failure. That's been ruled out by 3 doctors. I have an appointment with a pulmonologist, a vein specialist. They're going to do an echocardiogram, more in-depth labs. So hopefully we'll find out what's going on pretty quick here. What ended up happening was exactly what I was afraid that was going to happen. You know, my heart problem started last year or the year before. I can't remember. And we feel that they were drug-induced, that they weren't of a natural origin. So I knew I had this problem, and then it got worse. I had COVID, it got worse, and my fears of them dismissing the underlying problem and throwing me in the COVID bucket did happen. So I had a talk with the supervisors and everyone and said, look, that ain't cool. You know, we need to figure out what's going on. COVID could have made it worse, but how are you going to know unless they had canceled my in-person visit and made it a virtual visit, which really pissed me off. But oh well, we'll figure that out later. Main thing is we have 5 new sisters, an awesome mom, 2 awesome moms, an aunt, an uncle, and their incredible family. I'd say all around, it was a win-win. That's all I have for now, guys. Let me know what you think. Have you experienced anything like this? I would love to hear it. Drop it in the comments. As always, I hope you have a wonderful rockin' weekend. And I will talk to you next time.